Hey guys, today I'm going to read the Mushoku Tensei. It's one of the best novels I've read, novels I've read. It's really interesting, there's a lot to us, and it's amazing. There are a few, things that aren't up to par, but I do think this is amazing. And also I hope you like the music at the back. Chapter 1. Could this be another world? When I woke up, the first thing I felt was my eyes being dazed. Light filled my vision. I narrowed my eyes in discomfort. Once my eyes adjusted to the brightness, I found a young blonde woman gazing at me. A beautiful girl. No, a beautiful woman, to be more appropriate. Who is it? Besides her was a man of similar young age with brown hair, giving me a stiff smile. A strong and arrogant-looking man. His muscles were amazing. Blonde hair, arrogant type. Looking at his DQ and appearance, I should have been repulsed. Strangely enough, though, I did not feel he was unpleasant. His hair was a pretty brown color. Perhaps because it wasn't dyed, I guess. The woman cracked a smile as she watched me and said something. What is she saying? Feeling fuzzy, I could not hear clearly and I didn't understand it at all. Could it be that it is not Japanese? The man replied with a gentle expression. Really, what did he just say? I couldn't understand it at all. A third person's voice came from somewhere. I couldn't see them. I tried to sit up and ask them, where is this place and who are you guys? Even if I was a hikikomori, I still wasn't a complete failure at communication. I could still do something like that. But I couldn't tell if what came from my lips was a groan or just heavy breathing. My body couldn't move. I felt sensation in my fingers and wrists, but I couldn't move my upper body. In the end, the man carried me up. This is a joke, right? My body weighs over 100 kg, and he lifts it up so easy. No. Maybe I've been in a coma for dozens of days and it caused my body weight to go down. If such a huge incident happened, there is a large possibility that I lost an arm or a leg. The fate worse than death. On that day, those were my thoughts. Part 2. A month passed by. It looked as if I was reincarnated. I finally realized that fact. I had become a baby. I confirmed it when I was carrying up with my head supporting and my own body appeared in my sight. I didn't know why I still had my past memories but there was nothing bad about retaining them. Retaining memories upon reincarnation, anyone would have entertained such delusion at least once. But I didn't think such a delusion would become a reality. The first couple I had seen when I opened my eyes seemed to be my parents. They were probably in their early 20s. Clearly, they were younger than me in my past life. From the perspective of a 34-year-old, it is all right to call them young. It really made me envious that they had children at that age. I already noticed this from the start, but I didn't seem to be in Japan. The language was different. My parents' face didn't appear to be Japanese, and the clothes even seemed to be that of native villages. I couldn't see anything resembling an electronic device. The person who wore a maid's apron was cleaning with a cloth, and the utilities, bowls, and furniture were cozily made from wood. It was probably not an advanced, developed country. The light was not produced a light bulb, but from candles and lamps. Of course, there was a possibility of them being very poor and unable to afford the electricity bill. Maybe that possibility was very high. I thought they surely had some money, but as there was someone dressed like a maid. But it wouldn't be certain. It wouldn't be strange if it was a sister of one of my parents. It would be a normal thing for us to be cleaning. I certainly wanted to start afresh, but living in a family that could not even afford to pay the bills made me very restless. Half a year passed by. Listening to my parents' conversation during the last half year, I had started to understand things bit by bit. My English grades couldn't have been considered good, but it seems true that learning it can be quite a slow thing when heavily influenced by native languages. Or could it be that this body's mind was pretty good? Or maybe it was because of my young age, but I could remember things quickly. By this time I was able to crawl. Being able to move is a wonderful thing. I had never felt such gratefulness for being able to move. He will run somewhere else when I move my eyes away from him. Isn't it good that he's active? I was so worried when he didn't cry at all when he was born. Even now he doesn't cry. My parents had this discussion when they saw me crawling everywhere. I was not at an age where I would cry loudly when I'm hungry after all. But even if I tried to hold it in, stuff that comes from below would still leak out, so I just left things alone as they were. Even though I could only crawl, once I did so, I understood a lot of things. First of all, this family was relatively well off. The building was a 2-story wooden house, and there were over 5 rooms. They had one hired maid. At first I thought the maid was my aunt or something, but her respectful attitude towards my parents made it seem that she wasn't family. This place was a village. From the scenery I could see from the windows, it was in a tranquil landscape of farming plots. The other houses were scattered around, and on one side of the wheat fields I could see 3 families. It was a rather quite a rural place. I could not see any electric wires, lamps, or anything similar. Perhaps there weren't any generator anywhere. I had heard that foreign countries placed their wires underground, but if that was the case, it was strange that this house didn't have electricity. It was too rural. It was painful for me, who had been josted by the wave of civilization. Even if it was a reincarnation, I still wanted to have a personal computer. That way of thinking ended on a certain afternoon, with nothing to do, I climbed up on to the chair as usual, intending to admire the field scenery. When I looked out the window, I was shocked. Father was waving around his sword in the courtyard. What is he doing? My dad is still waving that thing at his age. Chewing. Ah, crap. Due to the shock, I fell down from the stairs. My undeveloped hands grabbed the chair, but they were unable to support my body, and my heavier back of my head hit the ground first. Yeah! I heard a scream just as I hit the floor. My mother spotted me and dropped the washed laundry, her hands over her mouth, and looked over at me with deadly pale face. Rudy, are you okay? My mom rushed over to me in a panic and carried me up. She looked me in the eyes and placed her hand on her chest, looking relieved. Phew, you seem fine. Madame, it's better not to move. Madame, it's better not to move someone after they had just received a blow, I reminded her in my heart. From her anxious attitude, it seemed I had fallen in quite a dangerous manner. It seems possible that I might become an idiot due to the knock on my head. Not that it would be any different. There was a throbbing pain on the back of my head, at least. Grabbing the chair with my hands had lowered my velocity. As my mother's reaction didn't seem panicky, I assumed there wasn't any blood. It was probably just a swirling. My mother took a careful look at my hand. Her expression seems to be fine, as if there was an injury, if there was an injury, it would be serious. Finally, she placed her head on my head to be safe. Let the power of God be converted into a bountiful crop and bestowed onto those who had lost the strength to stand once more. Healing! I nearly burst out. Hey, is this country's pain go away quick? Or was it that along with my sword-bound father, my mother is also a tribute?